Hi, and welcome to this exercise on strings. So this is an introductory exercise. We're going to go through the basic concept of strings, or text as you have it, and also look at the programming part of it on futureskill.com. So let's go to this view and return a valid string, it says. Yeah, so what is a string? A bit of history is that originally a string would be ASCII, written like this. So that one has 128 possible characters. So what is a character? Well, it would be something like A, B, C, 0, 1, 2, 3, etc. Those are characters that are the building blocks of a string. So a string is basically a sequence of characters that we will assign to a variable and use for various things within the program that we run. So ASCII was very limited with 128 different characters. Is very limited. It basically uses 1 byte, which is 8 bits, or each bit is a 0. So 1 bit is a 0 or a 1, and then a byte is 8 of those bits. Now something happened. Yeah, okay, and we're back with the camera. So byte is 8 bits, and yeah, one ASCII character is then 1 byte. So a byte is an A or a B or a C. But since this is very limited, we have something new invented called Unicode, and that one has 1.1 million different characters. So that also encompasses a lot of national symbols. We know some languages uses more symbols than just A to Z. Those are encompassed in there. We have emojis, a whole lot of different signs, like a copyright sign or a trademark sign, or this one fits virtually anything you'd imagine. Even flags are in there in part of the emojis, for example. So yeah, Unicode is very useful, and what is used in, I think, something like 95% plus, let's say 99% maybe even, is UTF-8. So that's a type of Unicode. Unicodes take up larger space in memory to allow for all these different characters. So there are more bytes. I mean, I believe UTF-8 is basically 8 bytes, although I might have to scrap this video because I'm not sure right now. But UTF-8 is what is used in most web pages. There is also UTF-16 and even 32, which takes up more space but allows for even more, more clever or more uniform encoding of characters, basically, in UTF-16 and 32. So one thing that happened also when the computing world switched from ASCII to Unicode is that you would have to take that into consideration. Is it just a 1 byte or is it an 8 byte character? And that also meant that sometimes you will see bugs springing out of this because Unicode was not used properly, or it was very new and it led to some problems, especially when ASCII and Unicode were mixed. Nowadays it's not that much of a problem. It was more of in the transition from ASCII to Unicode where it was a problem. So let's go further here and look at, or we can actually go through one more thing in this view, and that is quotation marks. So when we write a string in virtually all languages, you can write something like this, A, B, C, and then I put double quotation marks before and after. And we can also use single quotation marks. It achieves the same things. This is in most languages. There might be some languages where only one of these are valid, for example. And one thing that could happen then, a problem that could occur, is that you might want to use a quotation mark as part of your text or as part of your string. And the typical way to do that is to do something like this, A, and then we do an escape. We put double quotation mark and then the closing quotation marks. So what this means is that we are basically using this as one character. So we are telling the interpreter or the compiler that Please don't see this as the end of the string. I'm escaping it. This also leads to other problems, such as if you want to have an escape character, then you have to write it as escape, for example. But okay, this is something to remember. Another way to put a double quotation mark in a string is to simply use your single quotation mark A and then double quotation mark B, and then, or to follow the example I did before, you would just do it like that. So since I started the string with a single quotation mark, I also end it with a single. So I'm starting it with a single quotation mark, I'm ending it with a single quotation mark, meaning this will not close the string in any event. So this is one way to create a string A double quotation mark. The other way that I showed before was you start it with a double quotation mark A, and then wanted to have the second or double quotation mark following the A. Then we do the escape character and the quotation mark. This tells the compiler or interpreter that don't end the string yet. This is just one character, namely double quotation mark. And then we have the ending double quotation mark. So this is a little bit more complicated, but this is a way to have a quotation mark inside of a string. And we'll see this in the exercise. So it's useful to remember that. But let's go through and look at the exercise. So we're going to switch to the editor here. So I'm going to go directly to, there are some theoretical segments and going into more detail what I explained now. Let's look at the coding part. So in the first, so I'm not going to do the coding now, I'm just going to explain what you are supposed to do. Yeah. So in the first, in level 1 here, we should return a string. And it has some limitations. It can only contain letters, numbers, punctuation, and spaces. I mean, this is just for this example in level 1. So it can't be empty or only contain spaces. It has to have some of these letters and numbers, etc. And it must be between 1 and 20 characters long. And just to test what I just explained with double quotation marks, having it in as part of the string, it has to contain a double quotation mark. So you have to use one of those two strategies, either escaping or using single quotation marks at the start and end. So you should basically, for example, put the string like that in a variable and then return it here. Or you can return it immediately also. That's level 1. So if we go to level 2, here we should return the length of a string. So there are some examples here, and it's using some kind of Scrabble stance here. So this one you should return 4 because it's 4 long. This one also 4 long. This one is 6 long. No, sorry, 7 long. And this one is 5 long. So here you have to use the whatever method or so is used in the language that you're using to find the length. In Python we use len and some other languages as well. But there is also helpful text here in the description. Yeah, that you can look at for level 2. I should reset code here. Let's do that also. Then we have level 3, which is indexing. So we look at the coding part. So here we are looking at indexing of the string. So typically in most languages we have 0 indexing, meaning the first part of a string, sequence of letters, sequence of characters is 0. So if we ask for index 0 of the string example, we should return E, capital E. Another example, if the word is words and we ask for index 2, then we should return capital R here. So this is what is done in level 3. And then moving on to level 4, then we are merging strings. So we have some word here, so, or some string, so, plus some other string, me, becoming some. Here we should return words, here we should return to, and here we should return merge in this example. But the actual examples will be a little bit randomized. So yeah, you need to find what way, how you should concatenate or put together strings in the language that you're using. And there is help here in the description to the left. This is the Python example. But if I were to switch to Ruby, it would be the same. TypeScript, I mean, most languages would do it this way, I guess. So yeah, PHP just does it a little bit differently, as we see here. But those are the different levels and what to do in the strings exercise. So good luck solving it.